Hello, folks. Welcome back to Review and Thoughts on Jordan Baker directed flick Witches in the Woods. It is I believe, 2019 film. It's basically about a group of friends. They want to go off on a ski trip, I guess, in the mountains, and they get trapped along the way and trying to escape before nightfall, and before they freeze to death, pretty much. And by during all this, they're also having troubles with their friend who is acting like she's possessed, or possibly possessed. Now, the movie overall, did I like it? There were elements at the beginning I was into. Them establishing the characters, group of friends, or this one girl, Allison, who's she has there's this subplot with something happened to her at a party, I guess, with football players or something, videotaped her or something, and one of the girl Jill, character of Jill, I guess her boyfriend, he was there, but he wasn't part of the whatever they did to her at this gathering. And Corbin Blue, Chad from High School Musical. Turns out he's in this too. I kept wondering, is that Corbin Blue? Yep, it is. He doesn't look old, but you can sort of. Is that him? Yeah, that's him. No, I kept doing that the whole movie. So I guess maybe that was hurting it a bit. I kept wondering, is that him or not? But yeah, that was Corbin Blue, and he did a fine job in the movie. And of course, they kill him off because, yeah. Granted, it doesn't end on a downbeat ending, so I guess that's a plus. But it's not an A because the characters did stupid decisions. It's freezing outside, and we need to go for help, but so one of us is gonna go, but then the Allison girl, even though she's been freaking out at certain times, we're gonna let her go off with this other guy. Okay. So then they end up going away, and then she comes back, and then she's acting weird and possessed and in a daze, and they're like, "What's wrong with her?" And because she's shaking and chanting, because this whole movie takes place pretty much in a SUV, in a vehicle, pretty much, and I didn't mind it because Cujo. I'm not a fan of Cujo, but that I think took place mostly in a car. There's been I think a few movies I've seen where they take places in one location or what have you, but I never mind them. This movie, I didn't mind it, but the characters doing dumb decisions again, the Allison, or not the Allison, the Jill character, who's annoying because she's supposed to be just our main heroine or whatever, lead girl or lead character, really, and she's kind of she's cheating on her boyfriend with Corbin Blue. And then there's a love triangle with those three, where the boyfriend ends up finding out, so then they argue a little bit off and on, and then one guy goes off because he wants to go find his brother that Allison went off with and didn't come back with, so he goes off, he gets in a bear trap, and then he freezes to death. His whole scenes were boring because in this movie, like, it talks about it mentions like witches like once, maybe twice, because at the beginning they're at a inn or a hotel or whatever somewhere in a building, and one of the girlfriend of one of the other guys, um, she picks up this little flyer of, I guess, witch history of witch trials in the area or whatever, and so we're led to believe maybe this is a possession of to come, but then the movie treats it like, oh, because by the end it's like, oh, well, that's just what Guy said, so maybe she isn't possessed, but she's showing signs of possession, but then these weird things are happening, and then she kills the girlfriend of the other guy, of the brother, so, and, but okay, she's acting feral and stuff, and primal, but yeah, she's not possessed, and then by the end it's like, oh, and also this, again, this movie is like, it's leave it up to your own interpretation, which I don't mind films like that, because I sort of like that at certain spots of, oh, okay, the lead character lives at the end, that's cool, but what happens if, so I sort of like that, but the fact that, was it possession or was it not? Because at the beginning of the movie, when they're at a rest stop or gas station or whatever, Allison is trapped in the bathroom, and it looks like she sees like a reflection of herself, but her face is like pale, because like the mirror is like rusted and dirty, so it's kind of hard to make out the features of the reflection, but you can tell it's either her or like another entity. And I don't know if maybe she got possessed right then and there, but then, and then like when they're riding up to the mountain or whatever, then she sees a crow, and this crow is following her at the beginning, and then the crow's gone the rest of the movie, and then it comes back like at the end where it shows like it's eating the guts of like one of the characters, because pretty much only the Jill character lives, and everybody else is dead. But then the end, even the very, very end, she gets in the police car, and the deputy or whoever he is, he's like, you want to tell me what happened back there? Or, I'd never seen a sight like this before. And she's like, I thought she was possessed. And then he's like, what would make you think a thing like that? And then she's like, because so and so said so, or something like that, I think. And it flashes back to all the instances. And then then the camera looks in the rear view. And then we see her in the rear view mirror, and then her eyes are looking down, and then she looks up again at the rear view in the mirror. And then we get this ominous music a little bit, and then it cuts to black, and I'm like, okay, so is she possessed now, or is she crazy? Like, did they all lose their minds or something? Again, the idea of characters going out and one of them gets possessed in the winter time, and they're on a trip trying to survive, but also stay away from this possessed friend. That's interesting to me, but the way they handle it, I don't know if they were trying to do something different, but at the same time, not really, because, again, the ending, granted, it's not downbeat, but then at the same time, is it? Because is she possessed by, because she looks in the, again, in the rearview mirror, weirdly, obviously, and then it cuts to black, and I had hopes for this movie. I went in blind. I didn't see no trailers. I didn't read really the synopsis. But yeah, the beginning was promising, and then it just declined around the middle of the movie, when people started doing dumb decisions where we're going to go off one by one off alone in the cold. Okay, I'll go get the keys from so-and-so, and then that person's left alone and then they die. Or that person that goes off alone and they die. So that's annoying. So it's tropes, generic elements like that. I wouldn't say it's one of the worst movies that I ever seen. I mean, it's an indie film, so I give it points for the cinematography because I thought the look of the film was good. The writing of the character should have been smarter, should have been better, should have been handled better. Again, the love triangle thing was off and on for me, but I can't think of another movie where there's a plot like this where you have characters, and these aren't really likable. Really, the only likable character, sort of, is Corbin Blue, at least to me, because but then he has but then he's the other guy, and he's holding a secret over the boyfriend who did wrong, or so-and-so did wrong, was sort of part of what happened to the Allison character. So he's sort of not as good as I would have liked him to be. And the Jill character, she's cheating with Corbin, so yeah, also, so really, he's just as bad as her, so never mind. Nobody in this movie is good. I would say the Allison character, but then she's possessed, so I can't really say much about that. And then, again, at the end, it's like she's out of the possession, but then are we seeing this from the Jill character's point of view, or she thinks this girl's possessed, I guess? So then that's why she ends up trying to kill her anyway, and then she does kill her, of course. Yeah, the cover looks interesting. Looks really cool, and then the movie is like, nope. If you like indie horror films with, so there's gore in it, but not a lot. It's not really good gore either, because, at least not to me. The story's fine. The characters are flimsy in a lot of spots. Just missed the mark. It had potential to do something and be something great or good, and it just comes out being competent or just okay. It really is a time waster. I mean, the acting's good by mostly everyone. Just sad. Sad letdown of a interesting flick.